What is good, everyone? It is your favorite multi-cardboard selling producer, Izoki. I'll be showing you how I made this melody. That kind of sounds like it could be in an anime. I'm gonna show you the secret on how to get these every single time. So let me take you to my screen and get straight into it. Let's go. Also, the link to join my Discord community, IZOKICORD, is going to be down below in the description. If you make music, you're an artist, producer, or you just want to be somewhere where you could experience the creative process, talk about music, art, books, self-improvement, philosophy, anything about life, then link down below to join. Completely free. IZOKICORD. See you there. Alright, let's get into it. First thing that I started with was this really Asian pluck melody. I got the plug from a one-shot, but I dragged it into this VST right here called Synplant 2. I dragged it into here, this Geno patch thing. I pressed this little wrench with the play button. It generated a bunch of variations of the sound with different effects, and it just made it so much more cooler. I don't remember exactly where I got the one-shot from because it was in one of these folders on the left, and as you see, it's a lot, so I don't exactly remember where, but that's how I got the sound. I found that little ding 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 sound, dragged it in here, and that's how I got. And that's pretty cool. Now for the melody itself, honestly, my secret for this entire loop was to use the pentatonic scale, the G minor pentatonic scale. G minor pentatonic. Basically, the pentatonic scale, it's a major or minor scale, right? It's just a variation of a major or minor scale. It's basically just 5 notes instead of the, how much is it, 7, 8? You see, I don't really know music theory like that, you feel me? But it's 5 notes in the selected scale. So for example, this is a G minor scale, except just 5 notes. Kind of limits you, but at the same time gives you more room to experiment, you feel me? So that's exactly what this did. Pentatonic scales are used in a lot of Asian music, so that probably explains why this is really good for anime soundtracks. I started with this simple, like, rising, going down melody. Like you're in a monk temple, you feel me? And as soon as I heard that, right, I just instantly thought in my mind, pictured in my mind, anime, like being inside a monk temple, just training, right? Then I just clicked in notes, copy and pasted it, really. That's how. Then added a few more notes. And that's it. For the notes down here, the dun dun dun. I just heard it in my head like that to basically build up with these first notes. Dun, dun, dun. For the second part, I just put it down an octave. And that's it. Then move this key. I'm pretty sure it was down here. I just moved it to C instead, and the same dun 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 is going on. Same exact thing as the first one, except a little bit different at the very end. Instead of going like, it went like dun 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 dun. It sounded cool. I just wanted to end it in a different way than the first part, than the first 4 bars. So all in all, I just clicked in what sounded right, clicked in the notes that I heard in my mind, and yeah, bro, that's how we get the initial melody. Effects for that, EQ, super self-explanatory. Gets rid of the unnecessary lows so it doesn't collide with the harmonics, and just some highs I didn't really like. They sounded a little bit too harsh, so I got rid of them. This BA1 effect strip, it's a really cool plugin where it's basically like an effects chain, but like super analog. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but it's dope. All I did really was just turn the reverb up a little bit, the chorus up a little bit, turn this bright knob down a tiny bit, and it just gave it this cool texture, and I liked it. Stereo separation plugin, and that's it. Now the next thing that I added were these piano chords. really self-explanatory, really simple. All I did with the piano chords was just follow the notes that the plug was playing and just move them around a little bit and extended them, of course. So here, boom, boom, and move the middle note from the chord up an octave, from the chords, actually plural because it was multiple chords. I moved it up an octave, so I got this. Super simple. I didn't want to add too many transition notes because this was simply establishing the harmonics to support the da-da-da-dum, dum, dum. I did move some notes around that weren't originally in the first melody. I just went by ear. Really no rules for that. I just went 90% by ear, honestly. I just did what sounded good to me, and that's what sounded good to me. It didn't sound out of scale, out of key, out of tune, none of that. All right, everything that I'm showing you right now, you'll hear all together at the very end. So be patient, it'll be worth it, I promise. I got the piano from Augmented Grand Piano. Really dope piano. It's just a different type of vibe that it gives you compared to like Keyscape and these other piano plugins. This one gives you like a cool, like futuristic, but at the same time vintage type of sound. Especially this one, the I Felt It preset. Well, I did feel this. It was really dope. I like how it sounded. Effects for that, just some EQ, self-explanatory. Unnecessary lows, be gone. Unnecessary highs, be gone. Some simple room reverb from the LX24 reverb plugin, basically an emulator of a hardware reverb. Hardware, pretty cool. Gave it a real natural sounding reverb. So I put it on, put the mix down a lot just to keep it super subtle, and that's it. Really simple, bro. Oh my goodness. Next, I added this like Chinese instrument, bro, called the Yingqing, and now this is what completely immersed the whole melody into the world of samurai warriors. I really like how that one turned out. I got the sound from Silk by Eastwa Sounds and Opus, which is kind of like Contact, but not Contact. It's called Opus, but it's just basically a host for different kinds of instruments. I went to this bank, Silk, went to the Yingqing. I like how it sounded. It gave me that super samurai type of vibe, so I used it. And what I did here, it's super simple. As you see here, I just copy and pasted the chords from the piano. I just added these notes right here because it sounded so cool, bro. Ding, 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 ding. I just heard it in my head, bro. Ding, 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 ding. Bro, it just immerses you into a completely new country. That's what I love about music, bro. You could be from like the hood or something, but when you start making music, bro, you could just go to Japan for a few minutes. It's incredible, bro. The melody, honestly, I just went by ear and clicked in notes as I went along, honestly. For the second part, it looks a little bit complicated. It's not, bro. I just the chord, right? Dun, 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 dun. I just played it out in my head, honestly, and clicked it in until I got what I heard in my head. Hearing the melody in your head first is really a good habit to start implementing into your process. It'll really help you get the melody down a lot more conveniently and a lot quicker, so that way you don't have to, always just be clicking in notes every single time and not know exactly what you're doing. It's good to do that, don't get me wrong, but it's also good to use different methods of getting your melodies down, you feel me? So when you're hearing a chord progression, just think of melodies in your head and put them down. I think you'll like what comes out. So that's how I got that. Last final part. I always like to do some crazy things in the final like 2 bars of my melodies, right? It looks very confusing, but I promise you it's not. Here, I just descended. Dun, 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 dun. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you here. Here, I just clicked in notes, all right? And it sounded cool. That's how I got that. Effects for that, EQ, that's it, nothing else, as you can clearly see right here, because the instrument in itself already had enough effects. I didn't really need to add anything more. That's why sound selection is so key. Use already incredible sounds, all right? It makes everything so much more easier, so much more convenient, and allows you to simply create more. There's no need to add a bunch of effects to horrible sounds when you could just choose good sounds to begin with. Next, a vocal, because what's an Izoki melody without a vocal, right? This is how the vocal sounded like. I got the vocal from Arcade, Distant Voices, Red Lotus. I just held on to these keys for this long, then went to the next keys for this long, then pressed C for a tiny, like 1 second, and I got it here. It sounded cool to me. Kept it really simple, as you see. No need to just go to a bunch of different keys to try and be different. It sounded good to me, and I liked it. Simple, vibey, and that's all you need, bro. I rendered it out to audio because I like putting vocals on audio. That way, they don't bleed into the next sections. Putting them into audio allows me to do more with them. Effects for that, fat filter, got rid of the lows, unnecessary highs, added this cool thing called beam. You've seen it before. It's just a granulizer plugin, but I like this preset right here called Big Vox. It basically just layers the vocal with another vocal that is an octave down, an octave or two down, or vice versa, whichever way you want it. But I like it the way it is when it's down, and I just put the mix down a good amount. Just keep it super subtle, but not to the point where you can't hear it. Just keep it subtle to enhance the character of the overall vocal. Next, some reverb. Essential, bro. Brings all your sounds to life. Thermal is a distortion plugin. Width and heat, just added a tiny little bit of warmth. It's all about character, building up character in the individual sounds. The sound was already good to begin with, but that's what sounded good to me. If it sounds good to you and you feel that it is right, it is right. Then I added the soothe, which is just basically a plugin that soothes your sounds and gets rid of the unnecessary sibilances and high frequencies that hurt your ears and are really unnecessary. Then OTT, of course, made the vocal more present in the mix. The stereo widening plugin, which made it wider. And that's it, bro, for the vocal. Next, bassline. Now that bass was from a one shot, not even from a VST, bro. I'm telling you, just mix and match thing. You don't have to use VSTs, you don't have to use one shots, bro. Just do what sounds right to you. So the way I got the pattern was I just played it along with the chord progression. I got this, bro. Honestly, as soon as I heard the bass sample, I just got this feeling of epicness, of like a battle in space with a bunch of robots. Feel me? So it gave me that kind of cinematic feeling. I just clicked in the notes and I got this, bro. That's one thing. That's how I got this bass line, bro. But the thing that I will tell you is that the secret behind this was these slide notes, because it made a really cool transition to the next notes and just made it more epic, bro. Really no rules for that. I just went by ear. And yeah, trust your ears, bro. If you get one thing out of this whole video, trust your ears. Effects for that, EQ, got rid of the unnecessary highs, so that way the bass doesn't collide with the melodic elements, which are mostly in the highs and the mid highs. Boosted some of these frequencies down here, just make it sound a little bit more punchier, a little bit more stronger. Yeah. Then some thermal, beefy digits. As you heard, it gave it that little type of sound, which really brought some different type of ambience to it. And another distortion called rift. This one basically made it more crunchier. I don't know why I used another distortion when I already had this one on. Hey, but sometimes it's cool to experiment using the same type of plugin but with a different plugin on top of that same type of plugin. The beauty of music, bro. You can experiment, do crazy things, you just have fun, bro. And yeah, that's how I got the bass. Don't overthink it too much. Now the final thing I added was this lead melody. That is so fire, bro. I got the sound from Augmented Yangtze. I hope I said that right. If you're Asian, if you're Chinese, and I butchered that, I am so sorry. Please educate me on how to say it correctly. But I love your culture. I love your music. I love your instruments. So this is a cool like Asian Chinese bass instrument VST, and I found this Gukin Apprentice, and it sounded cool. It sounded like this, like a pew. but natural. I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest with you. It's all good. The way I got the melody was, yeah, bro, I just clicked in things. Actually, I heard it in my head. As soon as I heard the ding, I heard the melody in my head. Dun 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 dun. One thing that will really help you come up with these like ethnic melodies. Well, ethnic, if you're not from the country, if you're Asian, then this isn't really ethnic. Ethnic would be making drill, like UK drill. But since I am a Mexican in America, this is ethnic to me. One thing that will really help you is playing the melody with an accent. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What do you mean? Listen, instead of me just dun 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 dun, no, I had to get in character, you feel me? Dun 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 dun. Say the melody with an accent, feel me? Like mimicking the instruments, the region of wherever the music you're making is from. It really helps. It's not stereotypical, it's create-typical. That works for me. If you don't want to do it, that's on you. I'm just telling you what has worked for me. And yeah, bro, it was all just hearing it in my head, saying it with an accent, and yeah, that's really it. Fire. Effects for that. EQ, you know what that does. Some chorus, just gives it that analog type of feeling. OTT, just bring it up in the mix a little bit more. And that's it. 3 effects. Super minimal. Then I added this accent, right? Originally, it sounded like this. But I added these effects, this reverb, this bit crush, which is what gave it that kind of video game type of sound, and this pancake, which just hands it around your ears, self-explanatory, just accented the melody and brought it to life a little bit. And finally, I added this percussion loop. With no effects is how that sounded like. And now with all of these effects, sounded like that. I like to keep percussion loops really low, right? But just make it surround your ears, because percussions to me are used more so to emphasize and add life to the melodies instead of be present, be a part of the main forefront of the whole thing. So the way I do that is just, of course, put it down really low, but make sure to spread the stereo separation here and also in the effects, which the effects chain, some EQ, cut out the highs, cut out some of the lows, but kept it in this range, right? Just to give it a little bit of a filtered sound. This reverb from earlier, the X24, LX24, my bad. This is an L, and this is it up here. The live room preset, which self-explanatory, makes it sound like it's coming from a live room. This granular EFX fragments, different than Beam, a lot different than Beam, to be honest with you. I use both of them just for different occasions. I prefer fragments for these percussion loops, especially this preset Grain Clave. I sounded so white, oh my goodness, but it gave it this cool like type of effect. I liked it. Another EQ, I think I put that there on accident. It's all good. Then of course some RC20 retro color, this magnitude transition 2, it basically filtered it even more. And lastly, this fruity stereo shaper, which is what separated it even more to surround your ears. And that's it for the melody, bro. Super simple, don't overthink things. In the end, it's just about choosing good sounds to start off with, sounds that sound good with one another, that are compatible with one another, and don't sound out of place when you play them together. And of course, just doing what sounds good to you in the end, because who am I to tell you what you can and you can't do in your art? That genuinely makes no sense. I love anime, I love Asian culture, so I thought, why not use an Asian scale? You feel me? The pentatonic scale is really dope for these anime type of melodies. To me, it's anime. To you, it could be something else, but to me, that's what it is. And I like how it turned out. Simply about trusting your intuition and being in the moment, flowing, not really thinking, and expressing yourself to the max. You feel me? Express yourself with no limitations. The only limitations that are set upon you are by you. All right, remember, the link to join my Discord community, IZOKICORD, is down below. There, every single week I do sessions every weekend where I teach you how I make my melodies in a more personal type of classroom setting. You feel me? There you could see even more of my sauce, more of my secrets, and there we could connect, vibe out, and build a community of like-minded people. So if you would like that, link down below, completely free. I'll see you there. I'll play for you now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have an incredible day or night wherever you are in this world, and thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Izoki out.